give
Please resume your seat.
I heard the Prime Minister say he wants
Please resume your seat, Dr. Mitchell.
Yeah, always tell me give me a seat.
Resume your seat,
I'm your
please.
little boy.
Right Along Live.
Honorable members and those in the gallery, you notice I called the recess because when the Honorable MP for St. Patrick began to address the House, I noticed that neither the Prime Minister nor the MP for St. George's Northwest were around. So I called the recess to create the space to give the two gentlemen a chance to make their contribution to the debate. Because if the Honorable MP for St. Patrick East had continued, then the Honorable MP for St. George's Northwest, nor the Prime Minister would have a chance to make a contribution to the debate. Right? So hence the delay. It took me longer than 3 minutes, but this is where we are. I am now waiting on the other two members to make the contribution to the debate. Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and pleasant afternoon to you. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't see any of the members of the opposition present, and the only one who has not contributed to the debate is a member of Parliament for St. George North West. No, I think it's fine. I think I'm being heard clearly. Mr. Speaker, just so that we are clear, if I speak, I will use my prerogative to conclude the debate as Prime Minister. So I am prepared to seek clarification. I'm not sure whether you were able to ascertain the whereabouts of the Member of Parliament for St. George Northwest. And I'm happy to give him the opportunity to make his contribution to the debate. And so if you need to take an additional recess to ascertain that he wishes to so do, I am fine. But if not, I will exercise my prerogative as the Prime Minister and obviously be the one to conclude the debates.
Honorable MP, I did contact both yourself and the Honorable MP for St. George Northwest on the issue. And I expect him to be here if he wanted to make his contribution to the debate. I suggest that he proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and pleasant afternoon to everyone. For us to believe a lot of the noise in the market about whether or not...
Is this a point of order?
Yes.
It's a point of order?
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Mitchell.
Mr. Speaker, I just need serious point of order as to what really is happening in this House at this particular time. I just need clarity because that's clearly a breach of the fundamental rules of the Parliament. I want to know what is the situation as far as the budget motion mover and who is closing the debate. Who is closing the debate? I just want to know what's happening, Mr. Speaker. Because as a serious member of this House, I believe it's necessary for us to obey the rules of the House.
All right, the question is asked. Yeah?
Yes, I need to know exactly what is happening.
Yes.
That will determine what I do relative to my own situation in this House at this time.
Right. The Honorable Prime Minister has decided that he will be one to close the debate.
Wait, okay. Mr. Speaker, listen, is that the Prime Minister may wish to close the debate, but the mover of the motion has to first decide he has to give the Prime Minister, whoever it is, the responsibility to close. So is the mover of the motion agreeing and deciding that he will not be able to speak going forward? Although because, Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Finance got up and started to move the motion to close the debate. And that is his fundamental right as the Minister of Finance. We are all equals here in this house, you know. Different, whether
Dr. Mitchell.
Minister,
Dr. Mitchell.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. This is a serious statement, Mr. Speaker. Here, and I really wish that we need to obey the rules of the House.
Dr. Mitchell, the Speaker is on his feet.
Yeah, yes, go ahead.
Now, let me just read it for the benefit of the House, right? We're talking about the standing orders. And you will see it's not the minister, it's the Prime Minister who made the decision. I'll read what the standing order says. I'll read it for the hearing of everyone.
Mr.
No, Dr. Mitchell, the Speaker is on the floor. Let me do what I said I'm doing.
Well, Mr. Speaker, you're getting mad with me.
No, I'm getting mad with you.
Yeah, well, you vote.
I'm on the floor.
Mr. Speaker.
Dr. Mitchell, let me read.
Obey the rules, Mr.
I'm reading the rules.
Mr. Speaker, you're an umpire.
Dr. Mitchell, I'm reading the rules. Allow me to.
An umpire. You are not a member of the government.
Dr. Mitchell, don't argue with the Speaker.
No,
I'm reading the rules.
I am arguing with the Speaker, Mr. Speaker.
Could you please turn off your mic, Dr. Mitchell?
Yes. I am. I'm not.
Right. So let me read the rules.
Obey the rules.
The rule says, Standing Orders 40, subsection 5. I want everybody to listen. The minister finally concluding the debate, whether the Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance, or any other minister designated by the Prime Minister, may speak for 1.5 hours in addition to his earlier speech on the budget if he had already so spoken. Designated by who? The Prime Minister. So it's not the minister's decision, it's the Prime Minister's decision.
Mr. Speaker, let me just make this point. The Minister of Finance got up. Already, what you're talking about there has gone past that. The Minister of Finance got up to close the debate. That is what he did. If this was decided before, then the Prime Minister would get up at the appropriate time and whoever the minister designate. He has to designate, I don't care who it is. He is the mover of the motion, Mr. Speaker.
Right.
And therefore, what you're talking about, a decision of the Prime Minister make. Grandson is no boss in this House. He's just a member of the House.
Dr. Mitchell?
Mr. Speaker, he is a member of the House.
Please resume your seat.
Say he wants to give.
Please resume your seat.
I heard the Prime Minister say he wants to give.
Please resume your seat, Dr. Mitchell.
Yeah, he always say me give me a seat.
Resume your seat,
I'm your little boy.
Because I'm standing and you're standing.
Yes, because you are not obeying the rules of the House, Mr.
I just read it.
You are not. The Minister of Finance, I won't be talking to the little boy.
Honorable MP, please resume your seat.
The Minister of Finance, listen, Mr. Speaker, let me tell you something. There's 40 years I spent in this House, and you cannot break the rules of the House with impunity. You cannot do that.
Allow the Speaker to speak, please.
Well, I've done so, and I'm making a point.
But you're on the floor as you are the Speaker.
The Minister of Finance got up and started moving a motion to close the debate. And therefore, he has that right. I have never stood up for the Minister of Finance, but in this case, I have no choice because this is a fundamental rule. And anything else that happens here, Mr. Speaker, I will not be part of this because my legacy would imply that I stood when the fundamental rules of the House are being broken, and I participated in this. I would not be part of my legacy in the twilight of my representation and service in this Parliament of this country, Mr. Speaker. And I really wasn't looking for this, but it appears that I have no choice. As one who has spent his life in this Parliament, 40 years, going to 41, and to see the rules being broken with impunity, I have a difficulty, Mr. Speaker. And I mean, you can throw me out, you know. That is a simple matter. You can't throw me out.
Dr. Mitchell? Honorable MP for St. George Northwest, can you please turn off your mic? Honorable Prime Minister, you please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Just hold on, Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm rising now on a matter of principle.
No.
And in relation to...
No, it's either for clarity or...
So I'm rising on a matter
or a point of order.
Of clarity,
the rules are
Mr.
clear.
Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my concern is that one member of this House started closing the debate. Mr. Speaker, for some reason, you were notified of a change. Mr. Speaker, you called the member to you. You spoke to the member. The member returned to his seat and continued closing the debate. Mr. Speaker, obviously, you had additional instructions. And so you stopped the member. You paused the debate of the member, the contribution, the closing of the member. You came to the back, Mr. Speaker. You engaged with us, Mr. Speaker. And then you came back and you allow another member of this House to start closing again. Mr. Speaker, it would be impossible to sit and to partake of this. Mr. Speaker, I've heard it. If we want to leave, leave. That's not the point. Mr. Speaker, the point is
Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
And we started listening the closure of the debate. And it appears that you had other instructions.
You are repeating yourself. You made the
Thank
point.
you.
Please take a seat. Right? Honorable Prime Minister, please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I take it we should allow the colleagues to depart. I will sit to allow my dear friend from St. Mark to take her time. I'd like to invite the honourable member for the tongue of St. George to take over the position of opposition leader since there's no one else in the House. I can do so. I mean, the rules are clear. On any point that we may disagree on, or a member may disagree on, the Speaker has the authority to rule. And we cannot continue to sanction, in my view, respectfully, Mr. Speaker, the proper decorum in the House. If every time the Honourable MP for St. George Northwest feels that the Speaker is making a ruling that doesn't go in his favour, that we encourage not just him walking out, but all other members of the opposition walking out, and we keep countenancing this. So I am in fact giving fair warning that if the member for St. George Northwest does not want to sit in the House, then say so. Simply retire, give up the office of MP, have a by-election and let someone else do the job. There's been a persistent pattern of absences, a persistent pattern of, if the schedule doesn't fit his schedule, of trying to throw the entire sitting into disarray and making all kinds of stuff about the process and the fairness. A consistent pattern of any time he's asked to take a seat, it's basic courtesy. My friend knows that in court, if I'm on the feet and he stands, I sit. If the Speaker stands, you sit. And you can't be talking over the Speaker and repeating over the Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm saying this because, you know, the rules are very clear about the disciplinary powers of the House. And if we continue a situation where, and I'm saying this because, as the Prime Minister, I don't want any ill discipline creeping on my side. I don't want any ill discipline creeping on our side. I don't want the House to deteriorate to a point where the minute time someone disagrees with the Speaker makes a ruling, someone doesn't agree with it, they figure they can get up and walk out. And I don't want it on my side, and I certainly don't see why we should be tolerating. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm just putting on record that as the Member of Parliament for St. David, that this is not the kind of behavior we should be countenancing. And to me, at some point in time, something has to be done about it. Particularly for the other members who have no quarrel with you and who are not objecting. They already have spoken. And Mr. Speaker, I paused you. I came back in the House. We were sitting here for a while. You took a while to come back in. Even when I took the mic, I recognized that there was one other person who didn't have the opportunity to speak. And I was quite happy to take my seat and give the MP for St. George Northwest an opportunity to debate. Because at the end of the day, procedural rules aside, I have no difficulty with saying substantively you want persons, in the interest of fairness, to get an opportunity to contribute to the debate. I could have told the Minister of Finance, close the debate, in which case I didn't speak, he didn't speak. That wouldn't bother me. I have the opportunity to continue speaking. I could go and call a tongue all in Boucher's or appeal or point of Fontenoy, and we can talk about the budget perhaps better because I wouldn't have the restriction of an hour and a half. So I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, we can't have a situation where a mere difference of views over a procedural matter leads to this kind of storming out, you know, with a mother hen and the three chicken hens swallowing in a row. We have to do better than that, Mr. Speaker, and I'm simply putting it on record because I think if this continues, it will send the wrong example to our junior parliamentarians. We are training right now. It will send the wrong example to the school children who are here.